Hi, in this Java collection tutorial series, we would be looking at the following topics over the course of time. Okay, so the topics that we'd be covering is the Java collection frameworks and its concepts, the list interface and its implementation classes, the map interface and its implementation classes, the set interface and its implementation classes, the queue interface and its implementation classes, and the utility classes. Okay. So what is Java collection framework and why do we need it, right? In Java, we create objects, but sometimes we need a container that can hold multiple instances of these objects. We may hold these either to pass on the entire set to some other class or some method, okay? Or we may use it to manipulate the objects in that container. So this is where the Java collection framework comes into play, okay? So a Java collection framework provides us with a well-designed set of interfaces and its concrete classes for storing and manipulating groups of data as a single unit, which is referred to as the collection. So what are the things you can do with this, right? You can add objects to collections, you can remove objects from collections, you can search for an object in a collection, you can retrieve or get objects from the collection, you can iterate through the collections for business specific functionality, right? So this is the Java collections entire structure, okay? So basically the collections are grouped into 4 categories, okay? So first is your set, okay? So the set collections, then you have your list collections, then you have your queue collections, and then you have your map collections, okay? So the set, list, and the queue, they all implement the collection interface. So this is the root of all your collection interfaces, okay, that we would be seeing, okay? So let's look at this collection interface and what it actually provides, okay? So this is the collection interface. So this comes in your runtime jar. So this collection interface actually tells all the other implementation classes that these are the methods that needs to be used, okay, so that we get a uniform API to access all the objects or the data that we need to store or retrieve from that collections, okay? So all these collections would actually implement all these methods. So we have the size is empty, contains, iterator, to array, add, remove, contains all. So your list, your queues, and your set would actually implement all these methods. They will actually provide functions or the actual concrete implementation for all these methods, right? So this collection interface now actually extends iterable, okay? So what is this iterable interface? So the iterable interface enables you to cycle through a collection, okay, obtaining or removing elements. So an iterator is an object that is associated with a specific collection. It lets you loop through the collection step by step, okay? There are 2 important methods that we have in this iterator. So the first method is your hasNext and your next method. So these are the 2 important methods. So we also have the remove method, okay? So the hasNext returns true if there is at least one or more element in that collection that is being traversed, okay? So the next method returns the next object in the collection, okay, and moves you forward to the element after the element just returned, okay? So whatever element that was returned, it will move to the next element, right? So this is the collection interface. Now let us look at the list interface. So what is this list interface? So the list interface extends the collections to define an ordered collection with duplicates allowed, right? So we can actually have duplicate objects in this collections. So the list interface adds position oriented operations as well as enables the user to traverse the list bidirectionally. So this is just an introduction video. We would be actually covering more details on each of this categories in detail. Okay, so this is just for your understanding purpose and just to understand the entire ecosystem of this collections. So array list, linked list and vectors are classes implementing the list interface. Okay, so the next one that comes is your set interface. Okay, so the set interface extends the collection interface. It will make sure that the instance of set contains no duplicate elements. The concrete class implements hash code and equals method to make sure uniqueness of the objects. Okay, three concrete classes of sets are hash set, linked hash set and tree set. So let us look at the two interfaces that we discussed right now, the list and the set. So the list interface, so you can see it extends the collection interface and provides us with different APIs. So let's look at the APIs that it provides. So it has the size is empty. So anyone who's actually providing the concrete implementation has to provide functions that will actually have these names and will also have some concrete implementations to it. Okay, so this is mandatory. So if you look at array list or vectors or linked list, they will all have this methods. Okay, we will see that more in details. Okay, so the next one is your set. The next one is your set. Okay, so these are the methods that a set interface provides. Okay, the size, empty, contains, iterator, to array, add and remove. Okay, so queues. Okay, a queues is a first in first out data structure. Okay, elements are appended to the end of the queue and are removed from the beginning of the queue. Okay, in a priority queue, elements are assigned priorities. Okay, when accessing elements, the elements with the highest priority is removed first. We will see again in details each of these implementation classes, and we will do some hands-on coding as well to see how it actually works. Okay, so the next and the last one is your maps. Okay, so a map is a container that stores the elements along with keys. So these are nothing but your key value objects. The keys are like indexes. Okay, in list the indexes are integers. Okay, in maps the keys can be objects. Okay, a map cannot contain duplicate keys. Okay, each map maps to one value, a key and its corresponding value from an entry which is actually stored in a map. Okay, the hash map, hash table, tree map and linked hash maps are classes implementing the map interface. So let us look at the map interface. So if you see, so the map interface does not actually extend or implement any interface or a class. Okay, whereas the set, list and queues implement collections, but map is single. It does not do anything else. I mean, it's not implementing anything else. Okay, it's isolated. So if you see, these are the different methods that we have in the maps. Okay, and any of the concrete implementations like a hash map or any other implementation needs to provide functionality to this methods. Next we'll look into some terminology that is generally associated with collections. Okay, so this can be sometimes confusing as to what is what. So first one is a collection with a lowercase c. Okay, so this represents any of the data structure in which objects are stored and iterated over. Okay, collection with a capital C is actually the Java util collection interface from which the set, list and queues extend. Okay, and collections capital C and ends with S, it is Java util collections class that holds a pile of static utility methods for use with collections. Okay, so this is a utility method, utility class, okay, which provides a lot of functionality that can be used on top of the collections that we create. Okay, the next what we will look into is the sub flavors of the collections. Okay, the collections can be again categorized as sorted, unsorted, ordered and unordered. Okay, so what does ordered mean? When a collection is ordered, it means you can iterate through the collection in a specific order. Okay, and sorted means sorted collection means that the order of the objects in the collection is determined according to some rule, okay, known as the sorting order. A sort order has nothing to do with when an object was added to the collection, or when was the last time it was accessed, or what position it was added at. Okay, we will see all these different collections. We will actually write some code, understand how it internally works in the next lessons. Okay, so this is the table, summary table that we have. We would be covering all these collections. Okay, and this table actually specifies each of this collection, whether it's ordered or sorted or not. Okay, so it provides a nice overview. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Okay, in the next tutorial we will be covering the list interface and all its implementation classes. Thank you.